Welcome to the Archie Real Estate Podcast, where we keep real estate simple for the new realtor, investor, or client. And now, your host, Muhammad Archie.
What's up, my people? Welcome to season 2. I've renewed myself. We're going to get into some things. We're going to get into a little bit more this season. We're going to have a little bit more information, let you know a little bit more about this thing we call real estate. Have a great guest on today as well, so we'll definitely touch that and have a nice conversation about what it's like to be your first year as a realtor. You know, it's not as easy as some people think. Some people think you get your license and you just start making millions and millions of dollars. Some do, but it doesn't always work that way. So I want to touch a little bit about what we're seeing in the market right now. What I'm seeing anyway. I'm seeing interest rates are creeping down. So that's great for buyers. Can also be bad for buyers because now with the interest rates creeping down, the warmer weather coming around, you're going to see properties, hopefully more properties will start to hit the market. But currently, there's not really much out there, which makes this whole big ball still a mess. So to me, the market is still a hot market. If you're pricing a property right and it's in good condition, it's going to sell. But with the interest rates dropping, the weather getting nice, you have more buyers, more competition. I told you guys you should have been buying these houses. Seriously. I literally had a conversation just yesterday with someone. I was like, in the city of Reading, when I first got into this real estate thing, you could get a property distressed. Of course, you have to fix it up, but you could get this property for like $5,000-$10,000. I was like, damn, I wish I would have bought more. The thing is we're going to be saying the same thing in 10 to 20 years from now. I should have bought in 2024. What do you think these house prices are going to do? They're just going to keep going up. So if you're in the position to buy or you're thinking about it, get yourself ready to buy because I feel like it's going to be a crazy market. So that's a little bit of how I feel on 2024. It's going to get wild out there. I think you're going to see multiple offers again. I think you're going to see inspections being waived. I think it's going to get crazy. But I also hope that we'll see more properties hitting the market, which will hopefully kind of level out the playing field. But it remains to be seen. I always tell people as well, I know that the real estate market is going to do one of two things. It's going to go up or down. It's never going to go sideways. It doesn't do this. It does this. Okay. So just be prepared. But yeah, if you're ready to buy, please give me a call. Like I said, anyone on the show, give them a call. I'm cool with that. This is a platform. It's a platform for all of us. So, if you're ready, we'd love to help you out. So you want to get your real estate license. It's a start. That's great. I have a lot of people that tell me they do, and sometimes they don't really know what it means once they get their real estate license. So today's guest is going to tell us a little bit about it. His first year of real estate has been completed, and we're just going to get right into the conversation. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks, Archie. Yeah, so my name is Matt Gantkowski. As you could tell, first year in real estate. A little bit about me. So I'm born in Berks County. I thought, I'll jump into real estate, get $1 million. Made of the year, as we'll get into. My little bit background. I was like a manager for craftsman workshop. So we did like spoons, cutting boards, totally different field than what we're in now. I did do sales since 2020. We'll get into it, but kind of bounced around after COVID. I mean, just like everybody, our industry got hit pretty hard. So that's kind of what led me to real estate. And, now I'm here. So kind of dive into it.
Nice. First, tell me a little bit about these spoons.
Spoons, yeah. So back in the day, when I was a kid, first time job, I was a landscaper, didn't know what to do. So I did my own landscaping company. And then I, kind of butted heads with the guy. And I said, I want to do this myself. So I came up with my own business, Gantkowski Landscaping, generic. Nice. I was doing pretty good, got a couple clients there. And then one of my clients, her husband made spoons. Cutting boards, spoons. I say spoons, but kitchenware. We did like 120 different utensils, wow. Tongs, spatulas, forks. I mean, you name it, we had it. We had like 7 different spatulas. Out of wood, cherry wood. We cut it on a bandsaw, sanded it down, took it to the craft shows and sold it. I mean, we crushed it. Every craft show we would do, we were like the busiest there.
Wow.
So anyway, he was like, I always thought this guy was like kind of nuts. So, I never saw him. One day he goes, well, what do you do in the winter? I said, I don't know, what I can find. I do paint, drywall. I'm tall, so everyone wanted me to hang ceiling. He's like, well, yeah, well, and he's like, well, you want to make some spoons? And I was like, all right. So I got into it. First year, I made small spreaders, and then I enjoyed it, podcasts, listening to it out of the winter or out of the snow, elements. It was very relaxing, just sitting down, making these spoons, cutting them. So I said, can I do it full time? He's like, yeah. It's just him and his brother at the time. And so I pretty much gave up the landscaping career because one, it was, if you do landscaping, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's elements, it's poison ivy. I'm allergic bad. So that was tough. I got into about 2014 and then just kept up with it for about 2013, 2014, I got into it and then kept up to it until about 2020. And then after 2020, kind of, since COVID hit, because we did just mostly craft shows, that was the main source of revenue. And then 2020 hit, it just blew up the market because we couldn't get in front of people. But it was nice. I enjoyed it.
So you weren't only manufacturing these spoons, you're actually going out and selling these kitchenware.
Yeah. Oh man, we would go 6 hours out. I went to Virginia, Ohio, New York, New Jersey a couple times. And then at the shop too, helping manage some of the new guys come on. It was hard. A lot of people didn't want to make, in the business, it was hard to get someone to stay just because it was a tedious job. I would do, probably average 100, 200 spoons a day.
I have an idea of what these spoons look like, and I think they're pretty intricate.
It's just a basic spoon, okay. Or, just a normal.
Because some of them are like all carved on the handle.
Some of them, yeah. So, we did, we cut it on a bandsaw, and we wanted to do production-wise, so we banged out, hundreds of spoons a day, so we didn't get too
fancy with it.
Yeah. Okay. Sold better like that, too.
Simple and sweet. So, this was preparing you. This sounds like a grind that was preparing you for your future.
Literally a grind, just like real estate, yeah. And then the sales part, too.
Yeah. So, you went from landscaping to spoons, then to real estate, or was there something in between?
Pretty much, but in between there was a little bit of hiccups. Like I sold insurance for a year. Okay. Trying it out, Aflac. Okay. So I got into health insurance, accident, life. And that kind of prepared me for real estate too. Yeah. Because during COVID, I was like, well, what can I do part-time to be flexible? And insurance came right in. Like it was just like, hey, try insurance. I did a lot of cold calls, business to business. It was like business to business. So, got me in front of people, selling to the owner, then to the clients.
Wow.
Well, to the employees. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned drywall and painting and all that stuff. Let's go back to there a little bit. So you were always kind of crafty with houses. Were you just not thinking about the realtor side of it at that time when you were doing these things, or?
Yeah, so a little backstory too. My family's been in real estate since 2006. Okay. So my mom's been in it since 2006, and then my brother's been in it since 2006. So I kind of grew up into a real estate family in a way. Always watched them, always listened to them, deals, kitchen table. It was different back in the day too, it wasn't so tech savvy as it is now. So paperwork on the table, clients coming over. My dad was a property manager for an apartment complex over actually close to Temple. Mm-hmm. So as far as maintenance and properties, I've always just somewhat been kind of surrounded by it.
Mm. So when did you so I guess it was 2020 when you were like, I'm going to go get my license, or?
About 2021, I was kind of thinking about it. Okay. I saw my brother get into it. It got more serious. And then I started seeing these paychecks. Because, anyone...
That usually does it.
Right. Well, 2021, interest rates at 3%.
It's ridiculous.
People wanted to move out of the city.
It's crazy. Yes.
So, yeah. Started seeing these paychecks, started talking to him, and he was like, hey, man, why don't you try it out? Spoons isn't going to keep you up. And then, what was it? It's about 2022. Well, then the baby was coming, so I had a baby now.
Okay.
I was like, she's 8 months.
Okay, wow.
So I got thinking, I was like, well, I need something to, afford this baby. So I decided to get my real estate license in 2023, I guess it was, that I officially signed up and did the classes. And that took a while too. It took like 2 months of just learning. Well, it took me 2 months to just figure it out how to do it and say, okay, I'm going to dive into it. And then got the license 2 months later. Got it in November 1st was when I officially passed the course and got my license signed up.
I got mine in November too.
Okay.
Yeah, it was lucky.
Yeah. 2023 though. No, sorry, 2022, I guess it would have been.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because 2023 just passed, so that would make it a year in.
Yeah. 2022, I got the license. And I just dove into it head first because I thought I was jumping into a warm hot tub. I'm waiting for my phone to ring.
Like an icy river.
It was it was cold, man. Like
with icebergs.
I wasn't prepared. Jumping into Antarctica.
Yep. I think that's the biggest thing about coming in as a new realtor is just I knew coming in for some reason I was like, this is going to be a lot of freaking work. I was like, no matter what I do, this is going to be a lot of work and continuous work, but you got to love it.
True.
That's the biggest thing about it. You just got to love what you do. So what were some of the things you did when you first jumped in, like to build business?
Good question. Yeah. I honestly asked myself that and asked a bunch of realtors too, like, what do you do? So, I was honestly a little bit like, was it Mario Kart when you hit the oil? Yeah. And I was just spinning my tires there for a while because I was trying everything, sphere of influence, cold calls, expires, for sale by owners, because I had that insurance background, so I did a lot of cold calls. I was comfortable with it. Cold market, cold calling. I was like, well, why not? So I mostly did cold calling there, and I did get a couple good businesses, actually, good relationships. I really didn't hone in on to the sphere of influence until a couple months later. And then also I did another thing that I don't recommend, but like paid leads.
Okay.
Which, I do recommend in a way, but as a new person, your budget's tight.
Yeah. And you got to really be willing to take on those leads that come in, and you got to stay on them. You got to follow up. Because otherwise you're just going to waste money. Yeah,
because they're a 6 to 9 month process. If that, you get lucky.
Yep.
Some of them are just starting to transition into purchasing.
Exactly.
Like that was a year ago. I'm like, okay. So up front, when I first became a realtor, you got your budget, and I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't realize how tough it would have been just because I'm waiting for my phone to ring like, hey, what's going on? You had this budget you had to set out for, you're like, I'm not going to make the first sale 3 months, 6 months. Honestly, I was like, I'm going to make my first sale in 3 months. Well, it took me 3 to 6 months just to get my name out there in your sphere to be like, okay, he's actually a realtor rather than a craftsman.
It's another thing, it's like you have to train your sphere how to almost perceive you. So it's like if they're looking at you as the spoon guy, now it's going to take them time to be like, okay, he's actually made the transition into real estate and he's serious about it and he's actually doing deals. They have to trust you with this transaction of thousands of, hundred thousands of dollars.
The biggest purchase in their life, probably.
Person in your life. You got to trust this person. So that is a big part of it too. Just getting to change their perception of you.
Yeah.
So basically you come out, you're doing your cold calls. I think that's where a lot of newer agents come in and they want to do too much. I don't think you were doing too much, but some agents want to try this, want to try that, want to try this, want to try that. It's like sphere of influence is if you know people.
True. I've learned that too. It helps if you know people.
Yes.
Some of the bigger agents, you see them because they know individuals and they have builders under their, in their pocket.
Yep.
Like you said, I kind of look at it, the wheel, the more spokes, different avenues you have, the better that wheel's going to hold.
Yep.
But balance, because I was just cold calling there for a while and days and weeks of cold calling. I was like, man, what am I going to do here? It's not working. So I had to think like, well, maybe I should add a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then, like you said, the sphere of influence, they're like, well, it's easy to get the real estate license, but it's harder to maintain it.
That is 100% true.
Because you jump into it and you're like, I'm making $1 million. And then all of a sudden, the first year, what's the statistic of people dropping down,
It's crazy. I think it's like 80%. Or probably
huge.
Even more, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's larger than that of agents that get their license just drop out within the first year.
Yeah.
So, it's, I got to find that number out. But I know it's a really extremely high number.
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest thing. To get your license is, you got your license. congratulations.
Yep.
Now you got to build the business of your dreams. You know what I mean? So I think there are agents that want to help you along the way, though. I'm sure you found help along the way.
100%. Yeah. A lot of agents were super helpful, gave good advice. I'm still asking this question today. Like, what would you tell yourself back in the day? You know, like if you were first week in the business, what would you tell yourself? First year. That's kind of what I'm at Remax right now. And that's kind of why I transitioned over there, just because all the agents were like, you know, super helpful. Took me under their wing. We had coffees, we had lunch. It was super inspiring, you know, to work with some of these bigger agents and then to give you tips and tricks and honestly let you do an open house. Yeah. Like I know a lot of times people are like, open houses. In this market too, you know, selling like 2 days. Yeah. So I'm always like, man, you have a listing on Thursday? Let me do an open house, you know. Hour 1, I'm in it. So yeah, leaning on some of those other agents is crucial because they know what they're doing.
Definitely. They do. So tell me a little bit about what you've learned completing your first year.
Yeah, that's a good question. I can write a whole book.
I bet.
First year, I've learned it is a grind, like we're talking about. It's a never-ending grind, too. Every transaction I've had has been a different process. Like, everyone has been super different. I don't know if we, like you share, like, we've had a transaction together. And at the same time, that lady was buying 2 houses.
Nice.
Both of them, even though they were the same transaction, like, similar, they were so different.
Yeah, they were tied together, though. I remember that.
They were tied. Her loan was tied together.
It's all coming back to me.
But I know there was a headache over here and a headache over there, and I'm working to save it. But we got it through. So I learned it was a grind. I learned follow up was big. You got to follow up. Sometimes people aren't ready. You know, they might just call you and be like, "Hey, I want to go see a house," and then they'll drop out like 2 months. You know, you don't hear from them. I just had a lady do it the other day. She's like, "Hey, do you remember me?" I'm like, "Of course. Of course I remember you. I still send you stuff." Yep. So that was big. And then don't wait for your phone to ring, you know, because I always see these funny videos of agents that are like waiting for their phone to ring or, you know.
Yeah, good luck.
The memes. Yeah, you got to make your phone ring. So I picked that up quick. Like in the daytime, what am I doing to make my phone ring or make other people's phone ring? That was big.
So let's talk about our transaction a little bit.
Yeah.
How was it? I try not to, you know, I try not to be a pain in the ass on the other side.
So, you were great. You were super relaxed. Like
cool.
Like both agents were on the deal. You and the other guy, super smooth. Like we pushed it back, I think twice or something. Yeah. So one, open communication too to the other agent. Cause you know, as far as I had the mess and you guys were just sitting pretty like waiting for it to close and I'm clean. I'm
just keeping myself on the hook. Like, oh, relax. You got it. Easy.
Man, I'm like taking the Clorox, trying to clean things up. It was real, honestly, it was a little bit of the lender, not to push blame on them, but I'm trying to make sure the lender is good. And that's another thing I've learned too.
It happens.
Have a good lender.
You got to.
You know, have a partner.
Partner with professionals.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm just using any old lender.
I'm telling you, man, because it's sad. Lenders can kill a deal.
Oh, my goodness.
They're right up there with their underwriter. It goes the underwriter.
Oh, yeah.
Underwriter, appraiser, lender.
Yeah. I had
kill your deals.
I had the insurance rep for the house reach out like 2 weeks after that deal and go, "Hey, they want documents or something." And I'm like, I forget the name. I said, "Hey, we already closed on that 2 weeks ago." And she's like, "What are you talking about? They're acting like it's not closed." I'm like,
"Oh my goodness gracious!"
I was like, "Wrap it up."
I've never had that.
Yes, I don't know. It was just a random guy, random lender. Yeah. So I learned that was big. Yeah. Use someone you know and trust, a local person too.
Definitely.
But no, you guys are great. And my lady was great too. It was her first time. I was actually a paid lead, and it took her 8 months to just stay up and follow up. And she was great. Investor, buying investment property in the city. She wanted to buy 2. And it wasn't like it was $1 million deal either, you know.
But that paid lead is going to keep paying you as long as you stay in contact with her. That's about the follow-up.
Yeah.
You know, especially she's an investor.
Yep.
Because that's where I made my niche. I started off in foreclosures, and I just kept in contact with investors, and they would call me, and I had more foreclosures that would come up. "Hey, what's up with this one?" You know, and and then eventually it turned into, "Hey, I got this house. You want to buy it?" That's how I got into investing. So,
gotcha. Yep. The investors are good. They keep you busy.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. They definitely keep you busy. And But hopefully it's a good amount of business because investors can waste your time too. They can have you out looking at properties and looking at properties, and they're not serious. But the real ones, oh man, it's great to have them.
Oh, you know it. Yeah.
It's great to have them.
That's another thing in the year of business. You can kind of see who's an investor and who wants to be an investor.
Yeah.
But honestly, I ran with some, I want to say it, who knows who's listening, but wannabe investors.
Mm-hmm.
But even those, I ran with them, and they turn out to be good referral sources because they say, hey, Matthew ran with me, gives me good information, took the time of day, gave me this information, and hey, here's a referral. Yep. So it actually paid out.
You have to take every lead serious because you never know what is going to come from that lead.
True.
So you have to take everyone serious. And I do. And I say that all the time, like, you got to take them serious until you don't. They'll let you know you don't have to, but, treat everyone with respect and give everyone the service that you would want. And in turn, it's going to bring a lot back to you. So what do you see happening in year 2? Where do you want to take your business in year 2?
Year 2. Yeah, that's a good question. So I definitely want to double what I did production-wise. I've had a good start so far. Build relationships. Honestly, and this is a stretch, but I really want to break into that luxury market.
Okay.
I've been in a lot of the investors, single-family homes transition into. But yeah, kind of go into some of that high-end luxury market.
Why is that a stretch?
As a new guy, you don't, you got to envision yourself. And we're in Berks County. Average sale price $237, give or take. So it's easy to sell the 230s, average home. But the luxury market, there's not many out there. I mean, we're talking over the 800,000. I think there's 12 homes in Berks.
Yeah.
Agent wise, I think we have like 1,000 agents in Berks.
Yeah, and I mean, the agents that are getting those listings regularly, 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's the tough part. That's why it's tough.
But remember, you're licensed in all of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
So, and I've expanded down to Philadelphia a little bit, and those properties on the main line they're different. It's a different territory.
Yeah, and the Montgomery County a little bit higher up too.
Yep. Phoenixville's hot, up and coming, but go after it. You know what I mean, don't stop yourself.
I actually had a listing up in the Poconos. Long story short, I had a referral. Got it done. It was a nice listing too. So 2-hour drive, but I made it worth it.
It's worth it. Exactly. Nice. Let's wrap it up for a second and we'll come right back. So, other than breaking into the luxury market, which you'll do in year 2, it's all about mindset. Do you have any other goals beyond that? Not only in real estate, but business-wise?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Well, to parlay on that, I mean, really to grab the business and kind of get more structure with it. I mean, in first year of business, you're grinding, you're running. I feel like I was working 7 a.m. till 12 at night, because it's that kind of business. People are calling you, they're shooting you text messages at 10 o'clock, and as a new guy, you want to be there for them. You want to do the best. And you don't want to lose a transaction either. So going into this year, and you got the family, you got life, you got your business and the life, so you want to balance it. So I'm looking for more of a balance going into 2024.
Okay.
Kind of get those transactions wrapped up, but then have a little bit of time for the family too at the evening time. Maybe not answer my phone after 8 o'clock or something. Don't get me wrong, I will at times, but not be calling up the lender at 9 o'clock going, what's going on with this deal?
It is hard to set limits in your first couple of years because you don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And you're scared that if you miss something, everything's going to fall apart.
Oh yeah.
That's not the case. I mean, so, sometimes if you miss a call, they'll wait for you to call them back.
Yeah.
But there are times, and that's where your intuition has to come in. That's where you have to know your client or know your lender, know what you're dealing with. There are times where if you don't answer this call, they're going to pick up and they're going to get on to the next call. And you have to know that.
Yeah.
So you have to know when it is extremely important to say, I got to take this call right now. Give me a second.
Yeah.
But eventually you're going to be like, every call is going to seem less important as you go into your career and you grow bigger and bigger and bigger and you help more and more people. You're just going to say, you're going to think abundance and you're going to say that person wants my help. So they're going to wait for me.
True. That's a good tip right there.
Yep. So, I mean, that work-life balance, I don't know if there ever is such a thing.
Yeah.
But you can try your best to say, I'm going to spend my time with my family right now, and that's it.
Yeah.
So,
especially when you own a business, we kind of operate a small business, and you're everything. You're the marketing guy, you're the salesman, you're the customer service guy, you're it all. So,
yep. I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I was given when I first came into real estate. They said, treat it like a business.
Yeah.
They're like, there are times where I'm like, I need a break. I don't want to treat it like a business today. You'll get to that point.
Yeah.
But you go back to that, treat it like a business, and you're like, okay, we're working today from this time to this time. You'll schedule your time off. That's what's going to happen. You start to time block and you start to say, okay, well, I need this time to do this. I need this time to do that. But there's just so much in real estate, bro. There's just so much you can do.
I'm learning. Yeah.
So much. That's what I tell everyone. I'm like, just learn it all. I mean, we do flips as well. So your client that bought that house, that little block, or that house sold on, Minor Street, 600, that little block has
come a long way.
It's come a long way, and it's made me a lot of change.
Gotcha.
We've sold the one to your client. I wholesale 3 other deals across the street. My client owns the garage across the street there.
Okay.
Still. My contractors are going to work on that. So
Nice.
I mean, it's just so much you can do within the business, and once you start to learn it and figure it out, and structure is the biggest thing, because it can get freaking crazy if you're not.
Yeah. Having a path to follow,
putting things in place and setting goals for yourself. So, do you ever see yourself like building a team or mentoring or anything of that nature?
Yeah, great question. So like you said, goals and structures. I do read a lot of books, and I've learned it's like 3% of the world don't write goals. So you have to separate yourself from the others. And so I write goals. I have my 1 year, 5 year, 3 year, 10-year goals. In 10 years, I do see myself honing for a team, mentoring, because when I was a new agent, I always looked up to the bigger agents and just took them out to coffee, to lunch. Like I wanted to make it work. And so if I could make it work, I'm making it work now, but when I make it work even more, like yourself, 10 years, like I would love to give that back to the community too, and see myself in that first year shoe and be like, well, look at this guy, like I'm going to help him out. So yeah, that is a big goal, man. I would hope to hit that mark around the 5-year mark. Okay. Have a team, nothing too major, but I already see it now. Like I shoot for the listings. A lot of people are like, man, you gotta shoot for the buyers, run with the buyers first. And I know listings are tough, but
shoot for the listings, bro.
I shoot for the listings. I do my market, last year's inventory, like what I did, got a lot of listings, got a lot of business off the listings too. So it took me a little bit longer, but those listings gave me a bunch of buyers.
Exactly. Yep.
So, but at the same token, I'm running around with a lot of buyers. And so if I'm like, geez, if I have a person who wants to run with these buyers, that would be great. And that would give them something to do too, So I'm not on a team right now. I don't know the structure of it. I talk to a lot of teams. I'm not, I think it would be hard for me to be on a team, to be honest, just because I do see myself as the team leader. So a good leader knows how to follow, but also a good leader knows how to lead too. So we'll see how that goes in the next couple of years, but I'd like to be a team leader one day.
Nice. That's good, man. I hope you reach that goal. And it's key to just have the goals. It's always like, how do you know where you're going if you don't, there's no end in sight. You're just roaming around, you don't want to be spinning our wheels like Mario Kart.
That is exactly it.
That's it. I got one more question for you. So at this point, do you consider yourself successful? If you do, why? And if you do not, why not?
Yeah, good question. I do consider myself successful. I think it's a mindset. Because as a new agent, at first, it's tough. You see these other agents, you see the big agents, you start comparing yourself. You're like, oh man, I didn't get that listing today. Oh, my neighbor just got, selling their house with this big agent. So you start to compare yourself. And you're like, man, I'm not successful. But in my year, the year went by, really showed me that success is just a mindset, because, hey, I paid my bills, a little bit of like extra money left over. I'm doing pretty well. Like I have business, I have contacts, I have a sphere of influence. I don't compare myself to those other people. That's like the other agents. I don't compare myself to that book. I'm my own book. So, and I'm writing my own book. And so I do consider it successful that way because my book is just beginning. I'm chapter 1. Mm-hmm. Other agents are chapter 7, 10, 12,
That's exactly
20.
what you can't compare yourself to.
Yeah. So success just falls on your life and where you want to be. So
I like that. Yeah. I think you are should be your own biggest competition.
Yeah.
You should look at yourself and figure out how can you be better than you were yesterday, every day. I mean, that should, what everybody else is doing, what you eat don't make me shit. That's
That's good. Yeah.
It is what it is. But thank you. That's our guest for today, Matthew Gantkowski. Hope we'll be able to do another deal.
Appreciate it.
I loved it. It was enjoyable. And like I said, we have to work together. As agents, sometimes we get in this competitive mode where it's me against them. No, it ain't. At the end of the day, we're trying to get this deal done so we all can get paid and our clients are happy.
We're co-workers in a way.
Yeah, exactly. It's a results business. So thank you for coming on, my man.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yep. All right, so I want to discuss a little bit about 10 things that I learned in my 10 years of real estate. Now, these things could be involving being a realtor, an investor, whatever, a person. These are just 10 things that I learned within my 10 years of real estate. No particular order either. And after this discussion on this episode that we just listened to, that you just watched, just do it. That is my advice for today. Just do it. If you're going to get your license, go get your license. Stop talking about it. Stop telling me. Stop asking me. You know how many times I've had people ask me, multiple times, where did you get your license? Where did you get your license? What I do every time is I send them the website. That's all I do. Here you go. I'll send it again. No problem. But if you keep asking me, eventually it's going to be like, listen, just do it. Just get your license. Once you get your license, you want to build that business. Just do it. Just build the business. The cold call. Just do it. Knock on the door. You just got to do it. And I remind myself of these things every day as well. Because it's easy to just get comfortable. It's easy to be like, I'm good. But you also got to say, there's levels to this. And there's always another level that we can achieve. So whatever it is, don't let it stop at real estate. If there's something you're thinking about doing, that thought is there for a reason. It's there because you can do it. So just do it. Just do it. And that's my advice for today. That's number 1, the 10 things that I've learned in real estate. No particular order, but that is number 1. Have a great day. See you episode 2, season 2. Thank you. The Archie Real Estate Podcast. Thanks for watching or listening to the Archie Real Estate Podcast. You can find me on YouTube at the Archie Real Estate Podcast. You find me on Facebook as well, Muhammad Archie. Email me if you have any questions, comments, concerns, marchie@archierealtor.com. Shoot me a text, 484-338-3406. That's my phone number, direct. Shoot me a text. Got any questions, let me know. I hope to see you on the next episode.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Archie Real Estate Podcast, and we thank you for listening. Email Archie directly at marchie@archierealtor.com with any questions. If you are ready to begin your real estate search, visit archierealtor.com. See you on the next episode.